The Associated Press broke a predictable story about the war in Afghanistan. It's something that we've been warning you was going to happen for a long time. They say, quote, the Obama administration has conceded to some military leaders abandoning plans to remove almost half of the U.S. troops remaining in Afghanistan by the end of the year. It is likely many of the 9,800 combat troops, as well as some 2,000 counterterrorism troops, will remain until next year in order to, quote, continue pursuing the remnants of al-qaeda and to monitor Islamic State militants looking to recruit in Afghanistan. So the original plan was, we're going to draw down troop levels, so it's a little over 10,000 now. We're going to bring it down to about 5,000 or so, and then steadily take those out. Now what they're saying is, fuck it, who are we kidding? We're going to stay there indefinitely with over 10,000 troops. So you can go back, man. I'm not doing this to toot my own horn. You can go back and look in the archives on SecularTalk on YouTube. I counted them earlier. There's 4 separate videos of us covering the situation in Afghanistan, and each one of them is a separate time where, from 2013 and onward, where the administration or their officials came out and said, all right, we're getting out. Okay, no, we're going to stay there a little longer. All right, this is the end date, and we said it. Okay, no, did I say that was the end date? I mean, that's the date that we're going to come out again and say how we're going to push it off and stay longer, and then the end date is now later. And it just happens all the time, probably from what, 2011 or 2012 and onward? It was, every year they come out with a new thing. All right, and it's time to draw down, and we have drawn down. And did I say draw down? I meant leave it exactly the same, or if anything, maybe increase it a little bit. So we're seeing the same thing over and over, and guess what's happening with the results? It's not like at the beginning of 2013 or at the beginning of 2014, I was able to come out here and go, hey guys, good news! It turns out that all that fighting we did in Afghanistan, it worked! The Taliban released a statement saying that they're going to totally disband, and Afghanistan is now going to become a Jeffersonian liberal democracy. I mean, the fact that anybody can think that that's the case, but look, here's the thing, it's probably true that nobody thinks that's the case, because we now live in a world where you don't need to define what victory is in a given place or in a war. Specifically for Afghanistan, we see that, and for Iraq, we saw that, and we still see that with Iraq. So you can walk up to somebody and say, oh, okay, you're in favor of the war in Afghanistan or just the war on terror in general. What does victory mean? Define it for me. What's your goal? What's your end goal? At what point can you wave the flag and say, we did it! Oh, God, it's time to come home. We won, guys. We won. Oh, we defeat the Taliban, defeat al-Qaeda, defeat ISIS. That is absolutely impossible. Because no matter what, you can't kill an idea. And that's just an idea. The idea is fundamentalist Islamic terrorism. And the problem is, oftentimes, we feed into that and create a bigger monster because we kill so many civilians and further radicalize the region. So the idea of we need to eliminate the Taliban or al-Qaeda and ISIS, that's just as silly as saying we need to eliminate murder. Let's wage a war on murder. War on murder, everybody. As if, let's say we declared that in the year 1985. You know what it would look like today? Exactly like the drug war looks. They said at one point, I'm not kidding about this, the drug war officials said, we're trying to eliminate drugs in I forgot the number, 20 or 30 years, and this was said back in the 80s. Oh, okay, how'd that go? It's the exact opposite. It's increased. So we spent over $1 trillion, and now more people are likely to do drugs. It's the same thing with the war on terror. We decided to wage a war on terror, and now it's an empirical fact that more people are doing terrorism, and there are more terrorist groups, and there are more terrorists, period. So this idea of, hey, let's continue to do the same thing and it's going to fix it, no, it's not going to fix it. But then also, let me add this. Does that mean that the opposite is going to be successful? So am I making the argument that when we pull out, everything is going to be hunky-dory and everybody's going to get a puppy and there's going to be rainbows and we sing Kumbaya at night? Fuck no. You have nothing but bad options in this scenario. I mean, we fucked up in the first place going into these places. So no matter what we do now, I mean, you already hit the wasp's nests. You already did it. So what are you going to do? There's nothing you could do to try to, unless you could have fucking make a time machine and go back in time and don't do the original fuck up, the original sin. But that's not the case. So now we have nothing but bad options. Either we stay there and continue to not fix the problem, or we leave and it goes to shit. So either we stay there and it goes to shit, or we leave and it goes to shit. Here's what my answer would be. Leave. Because at least if we leave, none of our brave young American men and women are going to die in the process. I mean, you think that we can get in between the Sunnis and the Shias, for example, who are going at it and have been going at it for an incredibly long time, and we're going to stop it? Hey, stop it! My name is Eric, and I'm from Tuscaloosa, and I say you should stop it. All right, guys, he said we shouldn't fight anymore. Let's stop here. It's not going to happen. None of that's going to happen. Again, I'm not saying there's any good options. It's nothing but bad options. But I want the option that's going to least affect the people of the United States of America. And I think there's overwhelming backing for that idea from the American people. But of course, unfortunately, we don't have a representative democracy anymore. So even with a liberal Democratic president, who did he listen to? Did he listen to the people when he made his decision here? No, they said it in the very first line of this piece in the Associated Press. The Obama administration has conceded to some military leaders. So he's not listening to the people. He's not upholding his campaign promises. What's he doing? Well, the generals told me that we should stay there, so I'm going to stay there. Well, I don't know why you'd expect the generals to tell you anything else. They did the same fucking thing in Vietnam, and it didn't work then either.